Sorry, didn't see you there. Hello to everyone that is actually out there, and then hello to everyone who watches the replay of this. I'm Justin from the Podcasting Dead, and we're going to discuss the finale of Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. Hopefully everybody's having a good night. I'm trying not to say I think I watched the replay of last week's, and I never watched the replay of our podcasts, and I said quite a bit, so I'm going to try to avoid that one tonight. But yeah, looking in the comments, Liquor Beaver, okay, I thought the same thing, right? Like Strand, it's almost like they're setting Strand up to be the big villain going forward, which would actually be pretty cool. I mean, like, you need a villain that, that you can relate to. And I don't know, I've always thought a good writer or good writing was when you could make the lines kind of blurred between who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. It's so easy to write someone who's evil just because the protagonist needs an antagonist. But when you got one that you know their backstory, you know their highs, their lows, you know what they've been through, it makes it a little bit harder to look at them as like a straight up, I hope they die villain. Speaking of villain dying, and of course, spoilers, we're reviewing the finale here. So, if you're not looking for spoilers, probably need to come back after you watch the episode. But man, was it satisfying or what to see Dakota as like a charred corpse. And Coleman there, actually, yeah, I thought JP was going to be joining us tonight, but apparently I guess I got my days mixed up. I thought he was off this Sunday, but apparently he's not. But yep, no JP again. I apologize about that. But yeah, and for people that are on our Patreon, I've actually talked to a few friends that I'm lining up so that I will have some guests on the Patreon cast when JP is not able to join. And I assure you, I'm not saying they're JP, but I assure you, the ones I'm going to bring on there are pretty damn interesting and pretty damn funny. At least I think they're funny. And I find JP funny. So, but anyways, but no, I thought this episode I actually really liked this episode. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it was it was a little convenient the way some of these people ended up in shelters, right? Like Dwight and Sherry finally saying everything we've been saying forever, that she's just been tripping, like, you finally found Dwight, blah, blah, blah. But at least she's kind of come to a realization of, I guess, what's important and confessed to her sins and moving past that point. But I mean, how convenient the house they decided to die at happened to have a shelter. And then, Morgan and his lady showing apparently that heavy trucks can save you from a nuclear blast, which I know they were far enough away. I'm sure, whatever. But with that said, I really like this episode. I really like the, you couldn't bring yourself to watch Appalachian. Is it because you just don't like the season so much, or is it you just hate to see the season end? I feel like it's the first, but let us know. But no, I thought it was a pretty strong conclusion. I really thought Strand was a goner, and then he wasn't. I really like seeing Dakota get turned into a human pile of ash. That was pretty awesome. Let's see. I'm just checked out. I understand. Fear the Walking Dead is definitely a show you have to stick with. And what I mean by that is, like, it's highs. When it's high, it's so high. But the lows, it's so many times where I've been just like you, Seth, and been like, man, I think I'm done with this show. I've tried. I want to like it, but I can't. But I actually really like the finale. I mean, this season definitely had some points that I was like, meh, but I gotta say, I overall, I think they wrapped it up pretty strong. So did Wendell survive? They were still mentioning him off camera again. I don't know, but I didn't hear the trucker lady say Momo, not once. So she didn't bother me too bad tonight. Let's see. Loved seeing Dakota disintegrate, right? Like, been waiting for it. That was awesome. And I also like the way she took Teddy out. That was pretty dope. Like, you don't get to see the end. All you get to see is what I think is a 6 hour. Well, if you notice, all right, if anybody like me that, I I'm not gonna say I'm a firearm collector, but I have a few, and whenever in shows they drop their guns, I'm like, ugh, I shudder. Like when Strand met a guy whose name I should remember, but I don't because he just met him, and my short-term memory is terrible here lately. But when he meets him and he's like, hand over the gun, and Strand drops it, I'm like, ugh, don't do that to that. Let's see. Go back. I'm watching an old show from back in the 90s called Viper, so I'm hyped over that. I don't think I've seen that. I have to check that out. Dakota's character sucked, but she sure can act. Oh yes. Oh yeah. She's a wonderful actress. She's definitely got a bright future ahead of her. But I really wondered. I thought they were going to set up for more with the Victor Strand saying he was Morgan Jones thing. Like I really thought when he told him that, I was like, okay, he's probably going to survive now. But now he's going to be going under Morgan's guys. So you're going to have like a good Morgan and an evil Morgan. But it didn't last. Let's see. I wanted someone to die. Everyone survived except Teddy's people. And Dakota. Dakota got evaporated. But yeah, I know what you mean. They didn't take out any main important characters. But yeah, I thought Strand was a goner there for a little bit. When it first hit and the flash happened, I was like, oh, there goes Strand. Just like that. Gone. But he wasn't. But nonetheless, good episode. JP's texting me. Let's see what he says. But no, I'm trying to think. I mean, it's so many. I thought the beginning was heartbreaking, and I don't know. I never know nowadays when something that involves a kid, when it breaks my heart. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't have a soft spot for kids before I had a kid, but before I had a kid, I was, kind of like, I don't ever really want kids. I don't think. I think at one point I wanted them, then I didn't think but anyways, just wasn't a big softie for like stuff like that. But like the opening scene of this episode was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Like I had a lump in my throat. It was sad. And that was so smart what she did, because the whole time I'm like, what is she doing? I like how she put the cloth in her mouth so she couldn't bite the dog or her baby, and knew that the dog would go back to people to get her baby to safety. I thought it was pretty. It was heartbreaking, to be honest. That leg break was gnarly too. Like the whole time, that's one of my biggest fears. Like even the other day, I had a friend over and I was pulling one of the wheels off my lawnmower to go get a tube put in the tire, and like, I think that's one of my biggest fears in life is a vehicle falling on me. Like I won't, unless it's changing a flat tire, I will not like just jack a vehicle up and go under it and work on it, because I'm so scared it's going to fall. Like I have to have jack stands. And the whole time she's trying to get that wheel off. I mean, it seems to me no one told her that you have to undo the bolts, get them removed before you pull it off. So I guess she just thought she could jack the truck up and the wheel would wiggle off. But the whole time she's doing that, the truck was shaking. I'm like, girl, stop. It's like one of my worst fears being enacted. And that leg break was gnarly, man. Like to the point where I kept looking away. I'm like, God, stop showing it. Stop showing it. Oh. And Liquor Beaver, she was tough. She was tough as nails. I mean, her shin bone is like hanging out of the front of her leg, and she doesn't even shed a tear. She just kind of sets up and is like, well, damn it. And then like makes her own splint. I mean, she was tough. Tough. How was the walker walking on its leg broke? Well, remember she made that splint. And while she was having trouble walking as a person, it's because she would be registering the pain, and it makes it hard to step on it. The walkers don't feel any pain whatsoever. So being that we had the splint, zombie version of her could still walk. I mean, I'm guessing that's the logic they were going for. But But let's see. We now have Rick Jr. and Morgan Jr. Rachel named her son after Morgan. That's true. Be cool if they teamed up. And yeah, I mean, she definitely was kind of dragging, but you know, the brace would have helped the zombie to, you know, not just like take a step fall. It gave some support. But yeah, that was heartbreaking. What a sad way to start it off. Let's see. Dakota died. Hell yeah. John Dory has been avenged. I mean, realistically speaking, that helicopter would crash in the shockwave. I was thinking the same thing too. Like, man, they're cutting it close in that helicopter. That's not even, I mean, that's just like a little bitty helicopter. I mean, half the force of that shockwave will probably knock it out the sky. But yeah, let's see. They were maybe 100 feet further away than Teddy Jr. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Trying to look through the comments. Y'all are fast. Let's see. Howard. Yes, Howard is the man that Strand met. Wondering if we're going to see him come back. Because that's what this show needs is more main characters. I mean, you still got people like Luciana spoke more. Well, she spoke more this whole season than I think the last 3 put together. And she only was like in a couple of, you know, I've said for a while, like, why, and it's no disrespect to the actress, but like, why is Luciana still in this show? They don't do anything with the character. But I mean, you know, we just got all these main characters just sitting there. Could it have been whatnot? I've heard speculation. But the only thing that I wonder is about the time difference. And forgive my ignorance on it because I just really can't keep up with the time jumps here. I mean, The Walking Dead, like, you know, they beat Negan and then they jump forward, like a year and a half. And then like Rick leaves and they jump forward 6 more years. So my only thing is if this is how much time has been skipped, because at the point the satellite fell in the Walking Dead universe, wouldn't that have been at least like 7.5 years from when Morgan left Rick and them? And I'm just, the timeline's confusing. So if somebody could explain it to me, and if I'm off, then please correct me. But the rabbi man does nothing either. I did too, Maddie. I'm with you. I am with you. When like he come running up when they were going to weld Al's truck, I'm like, oh, I forgot this guy was in the show. Now I'm sitting here like, I remember him joining, but when was that? But yeah, I forgot he was in the show too. Like I said, that's just one thing this show doesn't need is more main characters. I mean, like in The Walking Dead, back in the glory days, you had lots of main characters, but that was okay because they were being killed off. Like every episode, somebody was dying. I didn't like that cliffhanger. What was the cliffhanger? Like, cause I don't think I saw a cliffhanger other than like Strand's speech. Paradise community. Hey, Podcasting Dead just dropping by. Hey, Paradise community. Thank you for dropping by. Just stay a while. Take off your coat. Have a drink. Right now, my drink of choice is Dr. Pepper. Sherry is sexy as hell. Sherry is so hot. Like Dwight. Man, I see why he was chasing her so much. She's absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, as far as the time jump, that's the only thing. But that knocking the satellite out would be a cool ass theory. Donkosaurus Rex says the vacuum of space does not have a medium to transmit a shockwave. It would die out as soon as it left the atmosphere, which isn't to say they won't say it did. It ended with Morgan looking at Grace. Yeah, I didn't really take that so much as a cliffhanger, though. I mean, unless I just took that more as like the future is now. I mean, are we worried that second nuke? Well, I don't know. It's hard to keep up with the number, but the second nuke that they saw, Morgan and Grace. I mean, was that? Are we worried that might get them? And of course, one of Sherry's men ended up being a traitor. Yeah, Daniel, man, like a boss. Homeboy just walked by and Daniel scolded his ass. I mean, that was awesome. I'm glad that Daniel got to have some saving grace moment in the sense of they've just kind of writing him as this delirious old man now. Maddie says, Why are there so many ground spaces now? This had so many. Just go down there and live. Yeah. Johnny O94 agrees with you, Liquor Beaver, that Sherry is one of the hottest females on The Walking Dead. She is. She's a hottie. Like I said, I totally see why. Dwight's like, even though it's the apocalypse, man, I'm not going to get somebody hotter than Sherry, so I am not going to lose her trail. Not to say that Dwight ain't a pimp. I mean, I don't know what his game's like, but I feel like he is probably aware that Sherry's probably the hottest thing. But yeah. And it's funny you say that, because it's like in this episode when she was having her little breakdown with Dwight and explaining all of her mistakes and yada yada. It's like in that moment I was thinking like, damn, she's hot. So I wonder. I guess everybody kind of caught that. But no, let's see. Is she worth an iron to the face though? For me, I don't know. I mean, she's hot, and then she'll continue to be with you even though you got half your face melted off. I mean, that's some dedication there, because I'm gonna tell you, Dwighty Boy's left side, it is the left side, isn't it? It's not pretty to look at. You imagine getting freaky and staring up and seeing that staring back down on you. I saw somebody earlier mentioned, let's see, before I jumped on, I was reading through some of the other comments. The shelter of pleasures. That would be a beautiful thing. I'm trying to think though, they're all separated, so it really wouldn't be like, what if as Dwight and Sherry, we're just gonna continue with Sherry here, like get down into that cellar and they hear like, welcome, and there's like, King Ezekiel just sitting in the corner with Jerry, and he's like, welcome to the shelter of pleasures. Let's see. I think Morgan and Grace are fixing to die, but I really hope not. And we must get Rick and Morgan together. They better not be about to die. I mean, they're holding that little baby. That's going to be some bullshit. Like they got this little baby whose mama just put herself through all that BS to save, only for her to be found and then obliterated by a nuke. Like that is, I mean, that's realistic, but that's not, typically why we watch shows. Let's see. Though the time seems off too for the satellite. Yeah, that's my thing. I mean, I know that they said that the nuke went like into space and then it re-entered the atmosphere and launched its warhead. So I mean, it definitely sounds like they could go for that. Like while it was in space, it knocked the satellite. I mean, it could be the effects of this, right? Like maybe that satellite didn't get immediately knocked down, but it got like disrupted. Maybe I don't know. It's like Donkeyosaurus Rex was saying, like space doesn't have that medium for the shock wave to really travel. But I don't know. Maybe they'll say it, in show world physics, it went up and maybe it just that satellite got disrupted or messed up or something. And then it just started its slow orbital descent to Earth and then hit a few years later. And that's where they found it. I was glad that they did the service announcement about suicide, because of the Morgan and Grace scene should not be made into fantasy. Yeah, and I thought it was really cool too. I don't know if you remember when they had the John Dory episode where he was like seriously wanting to end his life. I saw them post that at the end of that episode too, and I thought that was really cool that they did that. So yeah, I agree with you on that. Can't wait for season 7 if it continues to be solid like this season. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say this season didn't have its low points for me, but overall, I'd give the whole season like a 7 out of 10. I think that's fair. I think that's probably mine. I mean, I wouldn't tell anybody theirs is wrong, but I would definitely say I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. I thought it was good. It had some points where I'm just kind of like, but overall, pretty good. Johnny O says, yeah, one more season at least to set it up for the Rick movie. Now's the time when they could really do a time jump and catch it up. I mean, like this season ends, nukes have went off, and we come back. I don't know how long it's been, but 6, 7, 8 years later, and they're rebuilding, and they've rebuilt and they've moved on. But we'll see what they do. I didn't know what to expect, but I did expect more than we got in the finale. The finale had moments, but just didn't do it for me in comparison to how good the season was leading up to it. Well, we were talking about it earlier. I mean, they didn't kill anybody other than the bad guys. You know, Dakota, Teddy, and his people. Like, that's it. You know, I certainly thought Strand was about to go out, to which I was like, I don't think I'd be very happy with him going out in this way, but, you know. Let's see. Do you prefer season 3 or season 6 at this point of Fear the Walking Dead? That is an easy answer. The answer, of course, is season 3. Season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead, I've said it so many times, and I know that there are plenty of people that agree, probably a lot that disagree, but hey, we could all have opinions. But I've said for the longest time, I think season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead is almost as good as like the best of The Walking Dead. Like, it competes as far as the quality of the writing and the twists and the turns and just how it kept me locked in, right up there with some of the best that we've gotten from the actual Walking Dead. Season 3 was phenomenal. I tell people when they ask about the show, if nothing else, just watch it up through season 4 for season 3. And the reason I say don't stop at season 3 is because you need to see what happens to, you know, Madison and Nick and the rest of the crew, just so you have some closure on those characters. But no, I've said season 3 is just freaking phenomenal. Like, it's worth watching and because I'm not gonna lie, season 1 of Fear the Walking Dead did not do it for me. Season 2 had some moments, but we quit podcasting about it because it just bored me so bad that I dropped off. And then season 4 was getting ready to start, which they called, technically it was like a soft reboot. And when I saw Garrett Dillahunt so when I got so mad that they killed off John Dorie the way they did, I mean, Garrett Dillahunt is the reason I came back to Fear the Walking Dead, because I didn't see season 3 when it aired. So, you know, when they were coming in season 4 or whatever, I was like, well, shit, I got to watch it now. So I went back and rewatched it. When I got to season 3, I was like, damn, I was missing so much. Was Teddy a pedophile? The scene with Dakota was kind of creepy. It was very creepy. And the way he was like kissing her head and, oh, no, I definitely got some pedo vibes from that one. Thought the new dude was going to stab Strand when he confessed to being a bad guy. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know if I thought he was going to I actually thought Strand was going to stab him. I don't know why. I just got the feeling like Strand was going to kill Howard, and it was like his official, like, stepping into a villain role. Because till now, Strand's never really killed anybody unless it benefited him or helped him to survive or, you know, further his plans, whatever, and just kill somebody. And I just thought he was going to be so high on living through a nuke that he was just going to like stab this guy. Maddie, great point. Maddie, I thought the same thing. Also thought the second half of season 2 was good too. See, I got to go back and watch it. Because I just was, I was not into season 2. Let's see. Allie Smith, Maddie Williams, when he went to kiss her, yuck. They may stab each other. Well, now that I'm alive and you're alive, might as well celebrate with some good old-fashioned sex. Oh, let's see. Disney Rock says, can't wait to see how Strand and Morgan interact in season 7. Yeah, especially if Morgan finds out that Strand told somebody he was Morgan Jones. He can be Morgan Jones because I'm no longer Morgan Jones. I'm Cowboy, which Morgan was like, ditch the cowboy hat. I gotten really used to the cowboy hat. But alas, I'm sorry if I'm slow. I'm telling y'all, man, I don't want to say I'm not going to live stream after every episode. And with The Walking Dead, I might. But, man, like by this point in the night, because I'm so used to getting up so early, man, I am just slow and out of it. I mean, like if we were doing this early in the morning, the podcast would be totally different. So y'all, you know, bear with me. But I wonder if they're going to announce the air date for Fear, maybe on The Talking Dead. I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, it's going to be a while because now we got season 11 of The Walking Dead starting pretty soon, actually. You know what? Let me Google that while we're all here together. I'm sure some of you already know it, but let's see, season 11 air date. When does that start? August 22nd is when the final season of The Walking Dead starts. Man, so I mean, what are we gonna do? Is that god awful? What is that show called? So season 7 is going to start in the fall. That's going to be, unless they're going to run them back to, yeah, it'd be really cool if they connected somehow. So you had like Fear at 9:00, The Walking Dead. But no, anyways, what I was going to say was that I don't, when The Walking Dead starts back, maybe, but live streaming every episode, man, it'd be different if I didn't have to get up so early. But man, when you get up at like 4:30. And your body just gets in that routine and it's used to kind of shutting down around 9-10. But yeah, it's sad to think the last premiere of The Walking Dead's coming up. That's why I hope they buckle down and give us a little bit more of Fear, man. I'd like another season or two. I mean, if the writing stays strong. I will probably cry when The Walking Dead ends. There ain't no probably. No shame in my game. I'm gonna cry when The Walking Dead ends. I almost dead reading the comic, man. Especially I don't like how they didn't tell anybody and yada 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 about like we're ready for a new issue of The Walking Dead, and then you read the comic and realize that that's it. The series is over. But with that said, I love the way they ended it with Carl telling the story of his dad and all of that to his kid. Beautiful. And I will probably be a little emotional when The Walking Dead ends as well. I just hope they do it justice, man. I hope they end it correctly. JP sent me a Snapchat. I say floor strip and clear the floor of everything. This is JP's Snapchat showing so that's what JP is doing right now, patrolling the mean streets of the grocery store. Let's see. But yeah, I don't know if Coleman Domingo is still there or not, but if he is, I'm sure you were happy to get a live video check-in with JP there. But no, I did like this episode, and I like the season. I'm not going to say the season. I mean, this season definitely had some slow moments, some slow episodes that just kind of, and I almost wonder, though, if I was to go back, because I'm always tired when I watch them. I always wonder if I was to go back and or if I was to not watch it at night at all, and somehow I was able to get up early in the morning and get woke up and then watch it, how would I feel about episodes compared to how do I feel about them when I'm already half tired? Coleman says he's here and he's just glad that JP isn't here. Coleman, I don't know how you can hate someone who loves you so much. JP loves you so much. But yeah, let's see. Let me think if I can think of something to ask you guys to keep the conversation going about the show. Dakota Diane gave me memories of that Terminator 2 scene. You talking about the vision of the future where Sarah Connor's holding onto the fence and she just turns into a skeleton? Because I'm gonna tell you what, when I was a kid, that shit stuck with me. I remember being at one of my best friends' houses. We were elementary school age, and we ran through the living room to go outside or something, and his parents were watching T2 on a big screen. And I just remember seeing that scene, and it just I gotta say it messed me up, but it definitely as a kid, it gave me the heebie-jeebies. Let's see. I know he does. He sends me pics all the time. Poor thing. No Alicia for the last 2 episodes. Probably did a cameo in the 100. We saw what looked like where she would have been shaking, right? Am I wrong? Was that supposed to be the shelter that they locked her in, that we saw the kind of point of view of everything shaking when the nuke hit? Because I was very shy. I didn't think about that. I didn't remember until but yeah, I remember thinking it when are we going to see Alicia? And we never saw Alicia. What did they find? Madison at the Commonwealth. I will be a happy man. That's what's going to happen. Hell yeah, that scene was intense. Yeah, they showed the sign. So, I mean, like, I wonder where she was. I mean, probably filming something else, maybe, but I definitely thought we were going to see at least her in the, in the shelter, but nothing. God, I hope I like Alicia a lot. I mean, I definitely think that they've run her character around in circles and done some made some dumb decisions for her character. But with that said, I do really like Alicia. So I would like to see her. Because I remember one of the dumbest episodes this season is like that whole episode with the taxidermy guy and was it taxidermy? The guy when her and was it her and Dakota? That episode bored me so much. I don't remember much of it, but anyways, like it was, I guess the finale or either the episode before the finale, the mid-season. That was probably my least favorite episode of the whole season thus far. Appalachian American, don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. I liked how the mom and dog saved the baby. Yeah, that was heartbreaking, man. Like that really that was really sad. It put a lump in my throat, I'm not gonna lie. The baseball stadium just got destroyed by a nuclear weapon. Here's how Madison could still survive. Okay, well now I really want to know. Let me guess, you like Loki also. Now, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm very excited to see it. Yes, because I've heard. Well, other than you, I think everybody else I've talked to has either said it was all right, or they liked it. I mean, I haven't had anybody be like, "Oh, it's phenomenal! It blew my mind." But I mean, most of the people that I've talked to have either said, "Yeah, it was okay," or they said, "Yeah, I liked it." So, I probably will, but we'll see. I loved WandaVision. I thought Falcon and Winter Soldier was pretty good. Not amazing, but pretty good. LOL going hard after the host. What are you talking about, Seth? I think Seth's just a little pickier than I am in terms of, oh my God, dude, it's rough. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited to see it. I believe I was really looking forward to that because it looked like it was going to be kind of trippy. What is it you don't like about it, man? What is it you don't like about Loki? Let's talk about it. I mean, spoiler free, but as we still discuss Fear the Walking Dead. But no, I can't wait to see where this is gonna go. I can't wait for the final season of The Walking Dead. I really hope they do it justice, man. I really hope they do it. They gotta do it justice. At least Dakota is finally gone. Yep. And I actually really like the way she went out. Like as someone who's wanted her gone for a long while now, I'm actually very happy with the way they took Dakota out. The only reason I have Disney Plus is for The Mandalorian. I have it because we use it for Moana a lot. For my daughter. She loves Moana. But let's see. Bad writing. It breaks the MCU. In ways that will spoil it. It breaks the MCU. You mean it breaks MCU continuity? Or like, is it like? I mean, I don't want huge spoilers, but I just mean like, is it like the continuity eras, or are they like resetting things in the MCU? Because maybe they could use this as a jumping off point to change some things. How do you feel about Morgan and Grace almost killing themselves? I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't. I mean, I hate anytime someone's, considering taking their own life, but I mean, with nukes on the way and all of that, I mean, I get it, just the thought of like either, like, because if you get caught in the blast, you're probably not going to feel much, just phew. But if you're too far away, it's like you're going to die. I mean, really, it's in what she was saying. When I think she was thinking more like the radiation poisoning and the fallout, and watching someone die that way is just not something she wants to experience. But I'm glad they didn't. I really, for like a second, thought they actually were going to do it when they kind of zoomed in on the gun. I was like, oh my God, like we're going to see him pull the trigger and that's it. Grace's character has gone into a tailspin. She's crazy and no one seems to acknowledge it. Interesting. I mean, and she also just lost her child. So I'm sure that, has a lot of weight on her mentality right now and the way she's thinking and, all of that. I mean, that was pretty rough. Let's see. Maybe Comic-Con will get a trailer for Fear. Yeah, that would be nice. Yes, it breaks continuity. All right, now I'm intrigued. I mean, So, I mean, when you say it breaks continuity, do you mean like they're going to change things, or do you mean like it's like the writers forgot? Like, for instance, in Dragon Ball, Saiyans, which look human, but they're actually a race of, these beings that turn into giant gorillas and stuff. They look human, but they're born with tails. So, all the prior Saiyans, even half Saiyans, were born with tails. Well, then in season whatever, during the Buu saga, there's these two young Saiyans that, and they don't have tails. And when asked, the writer of Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball said straight up, the reason why they didn't have tails is because he kind of forgot about it. So is it one of those, like they're do you think they're breaking continuity because they want to change some things? Because, I mean, the comics do stuff like that all the time with, multiple universes and changing. Or do you think it's just like lazy writing and they just completely forgot certain plot points? Let's see. We need a season 11 Walking Dead trailer. Yep. What we've got so far is Eugene interrogation. Do you think we'll be seeing Daniel, Luciana, the rabbi, etc. in the CRM with the CRM in season 7, or will they be written off, maybe moved to the world beyond? I'm going to tell you, if you take a boring character like Luciana and the rabbi and you put them on the world beyond, it's just not going to be a good combination. But that's interesting. I definitely think they're bridging the gap. I definitely think they're trying to connect the shows into the movie, and they need to hurry the hell up with the Rick movie, man. I mean, I don't want to rush the filming, and I know COVID threw a wrench in. I get it, but you're going to wait too long. It's like right now. Well, I mean, I still will probably go see it, but I wouldn't be as hyped. But it's like we've talked about probably on here before, where they at one point greenlit like a Gears of War and a Halo movie, and even had Steven Spielberg in talks to direct the Halo movie, and we were all hype about it. And then it just stayed in like production hell and never went anywhere. And then it's like, if they would have come out with one, that'd be, now it wouldn't be near as hype. It's like, yeah, I'll watch the Rick movie, but if they don't hurry up, the hype's going to die down if it isn't already. I'm going to start Loki tomorrow. I can't wait to see how Owen Wilson does in the MCU. All right. Is Owen Wilson really in it? Seems like Alicia will be back. The Talking Dead just mentioned something she said about Alicia that will only apply if she's in a future season. Excuse me. No, I mean, if she wants to be written off the show, I mean, I get that, but I mean, to just lock her in excuse me, just to lock her in a bunker and then we never see her again, that would be pretty terrible. Owen is really good. All right, I got to Google this. Is Owen Wilson in Loki, really? Oh, shit. Owen Wilson's in Loki? Huh. Okay. I thought this was like some inside joke I didn't get, but interesting. So, yeah, I will try to... Who am I kidding? I have so little time during the week. I'd like to say I'm going to watch it, but I don't know when the hell I'm going to do that. Agent Morbius. SP. Yeah, I want to get to that, man, at some point. But man, it's just, I am so busy. Between radio and my full-time gig and other side projects, and man, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I used to tell people all the time that were super busy, like, man, you got to slow down and enjoy life. And now I'm one of those people that literally, I'm like, I'm always working. I mean, like yesterday, I woke up and drove to the office and put some stuff together for work. And then, it's, so y'all bear with us. We're definitely trying to keep the channel alive, and we just got to figure out ways to do that around two very busy schedules. But it's going to work out. It's going to work out. I have faith. I've been saying that for years, but I do. So one day something's going to snap and I'll be like, aha. And then we're going to keep it going. But let's see. I told myself I'd stretch this out till 11. Just curious, will we be getting what ifs in the coming weeks? Yes, but they're not going to be as consistent as they have before, because I'll be honest with you, it's like tomorrow. So tomorrow I have to get up. I actually have to go to the office around 6:55, which is much earlier than I normally do. So I have to get up, do my radio thing, and then pre-record some stuff so I can be out the door at like 6:45. Then I'm going to work all day, and then I have to go to the radio station and do an interview with some guy I don't know because of some show they're starting, and they want to do like a welcome to the channel kind of interview thing. I have to do that at 6:30 tomorrow, and then sometime in there I've got to figure out time to be a dad, and then I also would like to at least get a little bit of gym time in, and then somewhere between then and the next day I have to wedge in some sleep. Let's see, gotta hit the hay. Gonna come back and listen tomorrow. I'll see y'all later. Hey Johnny, I'm gonna probably wrap it up here soon too, so you're not missing much. What if Rufus was a pug? I mean, I like pugs. I don't think that the plan would have worked as well. I mean, I guess like the zombie would have still followed it, right? Though, I mean, it wouldn't have. I don't know. That's an interesting thought. Got to throw this one up too. Check that out. Give you a second. And to Coleman, pugs are cool. Pugs are cool. They're cool little dogs. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight's live stream. Really like the episode. Really like the season. I'm going to give this episode let's see, we normally do stars. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it. I mean, it definitely had some stuff where it was like, oh, that's convenient, and they didn't kill anybody big and important or anything like that. But with that said, it was I judge it really based on if I get bored. And I didn't really find myself bored. I was really, really into it. So I give it a 4 out of 5. And all around, I give this whole season a 7 out of 10. Coleman says, good night, friends. Appalachian American says, y'all take care. If anybody else wants to throw a final good night to everyone, throw it in the comment section. I'll put it up on the screen real quick. Just do it fast. Good night, Allie. And yes, again, I kind of got sidetracked, but we will definitely be doing some what ifs. But I just don't know they'll be every Monday. At least 2 out of 4 Mondays, I'd say. But night podcasting dead peeps. All right, my friends. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to hang out with you. I'll see you soon. Walking Dead What Ifs starting back soon. So I'll tell you what, if you want Walking Dead What Ifs and you've made it this far into the podcast, how about leave us some what ifs in the comments section, and that's what we'll start with. So in the meantime, I'm Justin. We're the Podcasting Dead, and I'll see you soon.